be joined by Donal Burke from Na Fianna. Donal, how are you?
How's things, lads? How are you getting on?
We were wondering, so the O'Loughlin's lads were doing runs after their match the other day. Are you back doing runs, or how far are you away after your injury?
Yeah, back doing runs, flying it.
Yeah, are you that far? We have to ask you, are you that far away from back playing? What about the Leinster final this weekend?
No, it's a bit of a quick turnaround now for me, unfortunately. Hopefully back training in the next couple of weeks, and probably take it from there then.
Yeah, like how badly did you do the injury? It happened against Clare in the All-Ireland quarter final, didn't it?
It was bad enough now. Tore the hamstring tendon off the bone, so very sore, and so it takes a bit of time to come back from.
Yeah.
Did you know at the time, Donal, that it was bad? Did you know? Do you know? I thankfully, touch wood, I've never had that like that myself. But do you know at the time, is this not good?
It was sore enough. To be honest, I didn't think it'd be as bad as it was. I just thought it'd be like a normal in 3 weeks. So the physio scan then after the game, physio gave me the bad news the day after.
You had to go abroad, did you? Did you get it operated on fairly quickly, or within a couple of weeks you went over to England or something? Did you?
Surgery done, yeah. So thankfully it was all probably a quick enough process. So just nearly there now. Trying to, I was at the last stage.
Just can you talk to us a little bit about your, I suppose, career path with Dublin? Like, so you would have been known underage coming through and all that, and you had a year or two in Dublin, and then did you head away for a year or so just to do something different?
I suppose hurling would have been my number one priority since maybe 15 or 16. So I hit about 21, I suppose. I just needed a bit of a break just to kind of reset. Then when I came back, COVID hit and everything kind of locked down. So I'm a bit of a more of a break than I signed up for. But then I suppose kind of said I'd give it a rattle then for the next couple of years, see where I get, and I'm still here, hopefully, thankfully.
And was it just, did you head away for a year, or was it just like a summer in America, or what did you do?
I actually played the league, and then I stepped back, and then I went away then in the summer.
Okay, was it just America? Did you hurl over there, or?
Hurled over there, yeah, so it kept me.
Okay. Good crack over there now. Having played over there myself, I can confirm there's no players' charters about not drinking over there.
That's a different contract now over there.
Yeah. Can you tell us about your influences in terms of, like, obviously I know a lot, like there's great work in Na Fianna and you've won a huge amount of, I suppose, underage titles. People were expecting you to come. But can you talk to us about Na Fianna as a club and its kind of development over recent years?
I suppose there's been a lot of work gone in the last 20 years, and we've been very lucky. Maybe we got a good crop, maybe 5 years or so from just a lot of underage titles that we were able to win. And I suppose the biggest challenge is kind of putting that into senior. Jump is so big physically, it took a while to get to that level, and we were able to get out this year. I suppose it was huge just for the work put in by coaches and stuff the last 15, 20 years. It was bigger for them, I suppose, than us. So it was special.
Yeah, because 2 years ago it looked like he had that final one against Crokes. How devastating was that at the time? Because you were something like, was it 7 points ahead late on, and Ronan Hayes went to town and they ended up winning after extra time. But like, how painful was that on the day?
It was a tough defeat to take. Probably up there at the toughest. But look, it was probably a bit of an experience at the time. We didn't expect to be in that position, I'd say, before the game. So these are, I suppose, the learns you kind of have to take. And I suppose if you look at this year, the final, we didn't really give any chance at all. So it's probably a sign of how far we've come and the learns we've taken over the last couple of years.
Yeah. What was it like watching on for that game? I'm sure you were very frustrated that you couldn't be out there.
I wasn't too bad. It was a lot more nerve-wracking now than playing. First half was good, and I suppose we still had that. So it was a couple of years ago. You still have that kind of feeling at half time. It's not won yet. Like, so the last 10 minutes, I suppose, they kind of started hitting home that we probably win this here. So yeah, it was a good special few days.
Yeah. Would you have many? Is there a tradition of hurling in your family, like father, uncles, all that kind of stuff?
My uncles used to play for Offaly. My dad, Ryan, a few did a few All Ireland medals with Ryan's Club All Ireland. So,
Michael, you're surely mad to jump in
no,
there.
I couldn't hear exactly who are the relatives from Rhinus Donal.
My uncles, the Burkes, John Burke, he would have played for Offaly and won a good few All Irelands with Rhinus.
Nah, no All Irelands but Rhinus. They won a few Leinsters, all right, but Burr the only club in Offaly with All Irelands, I can tell you.
Maybe I'm wrong there then, sorry.
No, they definitely have a couple of Leinsters, all right. They would have been unbelievably good in the 80s and even in the early 90s as well.
Yeah, I was back in the day now, yeah.
Yeah. Who would be the sort of players that you would have admired? Is there anyone you would have modelled your game on?
Not too sure now. I suppose Tony Kelly growing up, he's obviously still playing, but and then obviously maybe Joe. Joe probably my favorite player, yeah.
Yeah. Tony Kelly's 29 now, and you're what, about 25?
25, but sure. He was it 13 they won?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was only a chap then. So yeah, maybe if you look at the lads, sure. Lads like I suppose the lads who are just so creative, like Austin Gleeson and Keane Lynch and all, like them lads, like it's hard not to model your game off them because they're the level they're playing at.
Yeah, and like, is it one of those things where you were always a good ball striker when you were young, or did you have to work incredibly hard on it?
Yeah, I was actually more of a fielder, a wing forward, just lumping puck outs on when I was younger. And then when I came up the first year, who was Jerry Cunningham was manager. I was actually just pure chance that I ended up hitting the frees. Because I never used to hit the frees when I was younger. Colin Curry, the club, he used to hit them all the way going up. And even with underage teams at Dublin, he used to hit the frees. So I kind of just fell into the free taking role. And then I suppose when I was hitting the frees, I had to try and practice on then. So the striking kind of came after that. And then COVID as well. 6 months there in COVID, I probably would have done a lot of work just striking and hitting frees and shooting. So probably seeing the rewards of that at the end of the last couple of years.
And you seem to score the same point over and over, where you sort of stand off a little bit, wait for someone to give it you out the back door, and you pop it over from 65 yards on the sideline during open play as well. Like, at what age of your career did you realise stepping back in the pocket was a nice way to pick up scores?
Yeah, I got a good bit of abuse for that now, in fairness. But I don't know. I just try and get myself open, I suppose. And I suppose when you're in a ruck, you always kind of see Kilkenny are very good at it, like see the ruck ball and someone just there comes out and sits in the pocket and gets the free ball and throws it over. So it's just about trying to find space where you can get a shot or deliver it in. It is all you're trying to do, and a lot of forwards trying to think of it all times.
So you had a great win against Naas at the weekend in Portlaoise, 2-14 to 17 points. The goals from Kieran Stacey and AJ Murphy. But you seem to have them at arm's length for a lot of the game, and then they brought it back to a point late on. That must have been very nervy.
Yeah, they finished strong. In fairness, they're a good side, so we knew they weren't gonna just throw their hurls down after we got a bit of a lead. I suppose we probably took them by a bit of surprise with 2 goals straight after half time. So in fairness, they came back. I think after the first goal, they came back and got 3 points straight away. And then we got the second goal then. It was probably a bit of a sucker punch for them. But in fairness, they came back to within 1. And luckily, we were just able to hold on. We kind of got free and just allowed it.
Donal, just what have the last 6 weeks been like, even around the club? Like first ever county title, and then now rolling on to a first ever Leinster title. It must be a bit surreal. Like, you've been waiting a long time to get to this position, and now you're gone from not being able to get over the line in the Dublin final to potentially getting over the line in the Leinster final. It must be a crazy time around the place.
Yeah, it's mad. The last 6 weeks have been just flown by. That was just the way. Even going around the club, like there's coffee shops all around the club, and it's hard not to run into someone, and the buzz and all. It's savage. Like, so, look, hopefully we'll try not to get too caught up in the commotion this week, but hopefully now we've another couple of celebratory days now next week.
Nice to have a final in on home ground as well, isn't it?
Well, lads actually live on the team, lives over on Fitzroy Avenue there. It's only about 30 yards from Croker's.
That's a handy one, in fairness. There's a question in there, Donal, I just want to ask you. It's unusual that I'd say if you went down through nearly every inter-county free taker, I'd say they've all probably been hitting them since they were kids. Galan, TJ Reid, even thinking about Henry Shefflin and Owen Kelly, all down through the years. And Cuckoo just asked, lads, can you ask Donal about any tips for taking frees? You obviously had a bit of time, had to make up for a bit of lost time. Any tips for, guys hitting frees at any level?
I wouldn't say there's any like one particular way to hit free, to be honest. It's kind of just going out with a load of balls and just finding what works there and finding what doesn't. So like I would have maybe 10 or 12 different ways of hitting frees as growing up and over a couple of years. But you just kind of make little tweaks as you go along, and once you find the one way that, like the one that suits you, just try and consistently and hitting that every free is probably the main thing after that. So there wouldn't be any secret to hitting them now. Like, so it's just more getting out and practicing and just finding what suits you and what you're comfortable with.
I hate the word, but would you go through a process hitting frees? Like, would you have like a certain kind of things that you do? Do you place the ball a certain way? Do you stand a certain way? Like, what way do you go about it?
Yeah, you would. You'd have a routine, like, and I'd say there's no two free takers that have the same one. So do you want me to go through what I do? Is it?
Yeah, go on. Yeah, why do you have it? Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose I haven't hit one now in a while, so I'm maybe a bit rusty. So I probably face the ball down with the rims, so I wouldn't have the rims. Pick the ball up without touching the rim, so the ball is at an angle. It's hard to probably describe it now without a sliotar. Then I'd have me right foot in front of me left. Kind of try and replicate a shot out of my hands. So when you say hit a shot out of your hands, you kind of bring your back foot behind you. So kind of do something similar to that as I'm lifting it. Back foot come behind, and then I don't lift it up too high. It's tricky now. If you lift it too high, it goes off one way. And you lift it too low, it'll go off the other. So you're trying to find that comfortable motion where you lift it up and then strike it at the hip, and then hopefully it goes straight.
Was it one of those things where, like, do you ever get have confidence issues with it? Now, I do remember a county quarterfinal against Jude's once. Yourself and Danny Sutcliffe, both of you had a bit of an off day on the frees eventually, and I think Colin took over the frees that day. But is one of those things where you quickly, short memory like a forward should have, and then you're grand the next day?
Yes. I think the mental part of it is probably the toughest part. You just have to, if you miss a free, you just have to kind of remember your routine for the next one. So not much use in thinking about the last one. Like, probably would have struggled now when I started hitting them. Obviously, because coming from not hitting a free to hitting frees for your county it's a big jump. So I probably would have struggled there for a couple of years. But I suppose I've kind of learned over the last maybe 2 or 3 years that bit of experience has kind of helped me just to put it in the back of my mind and focus on the next one. Yeah.
Yeah, and considering your last two, well, your current Dublin manager and your previous hurling manager with Dublin are Galway men. Are they the maddest county in Ireland? About the hurling, that is.
The hurling, yeah, you can't fault on that. Yeah.
Yes, but what's Micheál brought to the team? Obviously, it didn't go right against Clare, and you could talk about it till the cows come home. But what's he brought to the panel?
Yes, I think it's just a bit of freshness, and I suppose he's trying to instill that bit of a belief in us. Obviously, he's managed Galway to the All-Ireland, like, so he knows what he's talking about. So hopefully now we can, I suppose, put that bit of belief into a bit of silver now in the next year or two. Yeah,
and do you have more players coming? We were so impressed with Paddy Doyle, for example, this year. But do you feel like there's more talent coming?
Definitely. Especially, I think the last couple of 20s teams have been very promising in Dublin. So hopefully in the next couple of years and further beyond that, we can start producing more.
And do you think the days of people referring to Dublin, and this would have been 10 years ago now, but the whole thing of manufactured hurlers, which I've got tick with plenty of times, obviously been up in Dublin GA for a long time. Do you think that's gone or going?
I think so. Yeah, it's hard at this day and age. The game has gotten so skillful. It's hard to be what you call a manufactured hurler and win. Like, so I think that's definitely gone out of the game. The way the game has gone, it's so skillful now these days.
And who's the silkiest Dublin panel? Yeah. Who's the silkiest in the Dublin panel? You'll have to exclude yourself, obviously.
We've a few now. We've a young lad coming up, Diarmuid O'Donoghue. Now he's very
yes. I coach him with UCD Freshers, so I can confirm this is true.
He's a handy little hurler. So there's a couple lads. It has to have Conor Burke now is handy with the hurl. like obviously Ronan Hayes, like he established hurler for like some of the Crokes lads would be very handy with her, like so. He's a lot of good hurlers, like so. Hopefully we can show that now in the next 6 months.
Outside of Diarmuid O'Dooling, Donal, who else should we be looking out for over the next couple of years? Young up and coming lads that you expect to make a big mark for the Dubs.
I suppose Crokes are producing a few good hurlers. Davy Crow, he's a defender now. Hopefully he was unlucky with injury there last year. Hopefully now he can push on it.
Yeah, he's another very good hurler. So, just Donal, in terms of like Dublin next year, how far do you think you can go? Like, you were very unfortunate, I suppose, when COVID struck that time a couple of years ago. 4 players robbed from the setup on the day. Owen O'Donnell had to go off injured after 3 or 4 minutes. Like, there must be that sense that if you can get it to click, that there's at the very minimum a Leinster title there for you.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I think we were close now this year. In fairness, a couple of different results went our way. Like we could have been in the Leinster final, so I think we're definitely knocking on the door, and they're probably getting that consistency in the performances. So-called big teams, like, and that bit of belief then will hopefully join through now next year.
Yeah, and we were saying before the quarterfinal this year of Dublin that we thought, oh, you're not playing, so the chances are Crokes will win this game unless 𝘧𝘳𝘢𝘅𝘁 catches fire and he hits 3-4. He's had some year.
Savage, yeah. Look, a lot of lads have stepped up now, in fairness, on the team. So hopefully they can keep the form going now for Saturday.
And how did Brian Ryan, who of course was on the Limerick panel that won All Ireland, how did he ended up with Na Fianna this year?
Yeah, a couple of us went to college with him in DCU, so we were friendly enough with him, and he trained with us there. He was living in the area, so he trained with us there. I think it was last year and the year before, because he was traveling up now to Limerick. So he was training with us, and he knew a good few of us. So he said when he was moving up to a club this year, so he said he's joining us there. So
sounds like he's leading the recruitment campaign, Michael.
It looks something like it. Once a lad starts training in a club, he's one step closer. Once you have the foot in the gate, you're kind of thinking, Jesus, why are you like inflicting so much hardship on yourself going up and down the road? You could save your career by another 3 or 4 years if you transfer up here. Sounds like that's kind of what happened.
Yeah.
No comment.
Well, look, Donal, really appreciate you joining us. Good old crack, and best of luck in the final at the weekend.
Perfect. Thanks very much.
Cheers, Donal. Good man.